Banishers.ghosts.of.new.eden is this amazing blend between God of War and the narrative choices and consequences that Not is known for. I now finished the game and I'm happy to report that they nailed it. And I always say that I want more new IPs, especially in the single player action RPG genre, so after rolling credits, I bought the collector's edition for the statue. They got my support, I hope we see more of this. I was able to play early because Focus reached out with an early PS5 code and they're also kindly sponsoring the video as well, so if this sounds like a game for you, then totally check it out via the special link in the video description. That would really support the channel as well. The whole premise always sounded appealing. We play Red McCreed and Antea Duarte, two banishers who are able to see and talk to ghosts and are hired by people to get rid of them. In the first hour, your goal is to break a curse that is haunting the North American village called New Eden. Both Red and Antea completely underestimate the situation and this leads to the death of Antea. She now becomes something you both despise, a ghost, but you soon learn about a way to resurrect Antea, make her human again, only this comes at a steep price. Throughout the game, you will get to decide the fate of many people you interact with. You can help them get rid of the ghost that is haunting them by either banishing the ghost, so they are forcefully removed, or you can ascend them, which is a more peaceful way to have them disappear. Or, and this is the more evil choice, you can blame living people instead, which will outright kill them, as you see Red rip their soul out, but doing this to most humans is necessary to bring Antea back to life. So you really have to think by yourself, how many people am I willing to sacrifice to be with my lover again, because killing these sometimes innocent people also changes the world around them. And this is way more in-depth than I anticipated. No spoilers of course in this video, but you can imagine that sacrificing a pretty important main story character that is leading a camp or town will have a big impact on the people that rely on them. But also, if you for example kill a shop owner, then you cannot access their inventory anymore, while if you help the blacksmith get rid of the ghost that is haunting them, they will later on make a brand new weapon for you that you otherwise would have missed. Like, because you know that at the end of every main or side mission, you get to choose the fate of these characters, you are instantly more invested because you always decide the outcome. And this all comes together thanks to the brilliant writing and performances. Missions are called cases in this game because you are really a detective trying to figure out what is going on and often reach the conclusion that everyone involved has some blood on their hands. So the game really challenges your moral compass if you go down the evil path, and also likes to show you the harm or good your decisions have caused. Because a short time after completing a mission, activity markers will appear on the map that has you revisit the locations and people from the quest you've already completed, so you can see the impact of your actions. And that extra attention to detail really makes it so that every quest is memorable, that you really feel that this is a living world that changes based on your choices. It just works really well in an otherwise pretty familiar package. I mentioned it before, but it's clear that Not took a lot of inspiration from the 2018 God of War reboot. Your linear journey takes you through forests, snowy mountains, deep into mines, swamps, and I say linear, but you could actually see this as one big open map that opens up more as you play through the story. There are fast travel points, and sometimes you won't have the required power yet to unblock a path or complete a puzzle, so then you have to come back later. There are locked chests that require keys, or treasure chests that you have to find with the help of a map. You can also find pillars that increase your health. I rolled credits after 24 hours and still only had 26% of the world completion, so this game is pretty big. There's a ton of side content. And the combat challenges are totally my favorite open world activity. By performing an easy ritual, you can summon the evil creatures nearby that you then have to take out, but there's always a challenge that changes the encounter up. Like where the damage of one particular attack is significantly increased, but your other moves don't do as much. So you're forced to play the game differently in maybe ways you did not do before. So it totally changes the otherwise already great combat up quite a lot, and you are rewarded for your efforts. If you by the way want to see the side content in action, I'll be streaming it, so subscribe to not miss it and leave a like if you liked the video so far. Now, the combat was my biggest worry going into this game, but I'm pleasantly surprised by how well it feels to hit the ghost with your sword and torch as Red, or punch them with the ghost abilities from Antea. You're basically controlling two characters in one and can switch at any time, but there are some tactics to this as well. Red namely does increased damage against the ghostly specters, while Antea deals increased damage against the possessed enemies. The fight can already start with some possessed targets like wolves or draugrs, but often specters try and take control of nearby corpses during the fight, so then it's smart to quickly take them out to stop this from happening. There are specters that give a shield to their allies, so then you have to defeat those first. There are enemies with big AoE attacks, ranged attacks. The game could have totally used a bit more enemy variety, but luckily there are some unique bosses that I don't want to spoil that totally make up for it. The game also does progression really well. Not only do you unlock new key unlocks throughout the campaign at a really great pace, like a rifle for Red to hit enemies from afar or new ghost abilities for Antea, you also have multiple ways to tweak your preferred playstyle, and I've rarely seen a game where the skills are this impactful. So your first unlocks don't just increase your damage or defense, but immediately push you to play the game in a different way, like increasing your light attack damage by 10% with every hit, but it resets when you get hit. So you have to be extra careful if you want to keep this damage buff. I could also immediately unlock Team Assist, where every 4th light attack with Red would cause Antea to appear, who would then punch the target for some extra damage. So 2 hours in and I'm already kind of trying to get that 4-hit combo going. Another early skill adds this area of effect to my charged heavy attack, so I will be using that attack more. And again, these are just the early unlocks, with way more impactful skills opening up over the course of the game. And you have to pick and choose, by the way. You can only select one of the 2 options per skill line. Your gear also helps you make builds. There are 8 pieces of equipment that all have stats and a special perk, and they can be upgraded to the max level. So all the gear pieces are usable throughout the whole game, and that makes finding new gear or a new weapon always interesting. And I mentioned God of War before, like, don't expect the combat to be on that level, but I still enjoyed every fight I had, and having to change strategies and tactics based on the enemies and new unlocks really helped elevate things throughout the game. The performance on PS5 has been great at 60 FPS. There's only a bit of a delay when pulling up the map or other menus. It did not ruin the fun for me, but it does get annoying over time. And maybe you already noticed it, but not all the interactions with every NPC look as great. It did not stop me from caring though about what they had to say. And it is worth noting that the game still has enough visually impressive moments thanks to the amazing art design. Like, we've seen a decrease in a new single player IPs over the years. Games are all focused on big franchises and sequels right now. Banishers is a fresh wind that I needed. Sure, it takes a lot of game design elements and structure from God of War, but it adds the very unique donut flavor that makes me fall in love with the studio again, just like it did when I was playing Remember Me back in the day, or of course the first Life is Strange. So I'm really happy that we got this new third-person action-adventure RPG. I can't wait for my statue to arrive. I think it's worth your time. Of course, if you want, you can check the game out via the special link in the video description. That would really support the channel as well. Thanks again to Focus for sponsoring the video. Subscribe if you want to see more content on the game. I will be streaming it as well. A like would be awesome, and you can set a reminder for that stream, by the way, by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you very soon. Goodbye.